everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a first impression, a follow-up video, and it's going to be following up on two separate videos that I did. One was a collab video with my friend Kim where we were testing out each other's drugstore favorites, and that video was a first impression. And then also I did a first impression Friday where I was testing out some new makeup releases. So as always with my first impressions, I am back to give a follow-up on everything, my reviews, what worked for me, what did not work for me. So if you're ready for some makeup reviews, why don't we go ahead and get started. So I did my video with Kim first. I am fairly sure I will have both these videos that I'm talking about linked down below. Again, these products were ones that I picked up myself because we were trying each other's drugstore favorites. So I'm going to tell you if any of her favorites have become my favorites. So first up, I did try a foundation. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable foundation. So I did have to kind of cheat on this one a little bit because she said that her favorite Rimmel foundation was the one with the red cap, but that one is being discontinued. So I went to my CVS to find some Rimmel products and they did not have that one anymore. So I picked up the new one here. So this is kind of what's replacing the red cap. It says it's a long wear foundation. It's a high definition finish, medium coverage. I picked up my shade in 200 Soft Beige. You can find this at CVS. I believe it was around $7, $8. And again at Target I was seeing it for $7. So this is one that I liked right off the bat. Right as I was applying it, as I was blending it out, as I finished with the video, I really liked this foundation. It does have kind of this interesting applicator here, and I didn't mind that for applying it to my face. It reminded me of the Clinique Beyond Perfecting. It's not my favorite way to apply foundation, but I don't mind it. And it felt nice and hydrating on the skin. I do have dry skin and I don't like when a foundation is too matte. I got a little worried when it said it was a long wear foundation. Sometimes long wear can equal like full coverage, and that's not necessarily my favorite, but right underneath that it says medium coverage. I would agree. I think the coverage is a solid medium. I think you can kind of play with it and build it up to get it a little bit on like the medium to full side, but I think this is a nice medium coverage foundation, which is my sweet spot. Like I said, it feels almost just a little bit hydrating. It's pretty liquidy on the skin, which means you don't need a lot of foundation to put it on, because when you start to blend it out, like a little bit goes a long way. I like the coverage. I like the way it made my skin look. It looks like it's not necessarily like an overly dewy foundation. Like I don't look like really glowy or anything like that once I apply this. It's not matte at all on me, but it's just like it's your skin, but it's better. It's smoother. You know, any discolorations are kind of camouflaged with this one. And I really, really like this foundation. I've been very impressed with it. Even after my review period was up, I kept reaching for this one because I really liked it. And actually today, this is what I wanted to wear, but I did just self-tan. So I know I'm going to be getting a little bit darker here, so I went with one of my darker foundations because this one is a little bit on the lighter side for me. But when I'm not self-tanned, I've been finding myself reaching for this one quite a bit. I will say that a lot of people are saying that they don't like this one in comparison to the red cap. But like I said, I've never tried the red cap one, so I cannot compare it to that foundation. But I feel like I'm seeing a lot of that, so I don't know, maybe if it's one of those things where if you've never tried the red cap and you tried this one, you might like it because you're not comparing it to the older product, but I like this one a lot. For me, it kind of ticks all those boxes that I like for my foundation, so this one was a win for me. I also tried out the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. This is about $5 at Ulta, which is a great price for a concealer. I was really excited that this was on Kim's list because this was actually a concealer that I had almost bought so many times because a lot of people really like this concealer. I've seen it mentioned in a lot of dupe videos before, so I was excited to give this one a try. I picked mine up in the shade 04, which is beige. Again, really impressed with this concealer. It's a very full coverage underneath the eyes, and I like a full coverage concealer, not a foundation, but for my concealer, I want full coverage. It blends out very easily. A little bit of creasing, but if I set it, and especially if I set it with a loose powder, like I've really been loving the RCMA No Color powder, I don't, deal with any creasing like that. I think that it holds up for a really long time. So this is one that I'm very impressed with. And again, when I put it on in that first impressions video, I was like, I think I'm gonna like this concealer, and I definitely do. So it's a good full coverage, long lasting concealer, and for $5, I will totally repurchase this one. Thank you, Kim. Alrighty, so next up I have a mascara here. This is from Essence. This is the False Lashes Mascara for Dramatic Volume Unlimited. So I will say I'm not a big mascara wear. I wear a lot of false lashes. It is my preference. So sometimes when I'm trying out a new mascara, like I kind of already go into them like, I'm probably not gonna love this mascara. I'm probably not gonna love this mascara. I will say though, I think this one is really nice, and I believe this one is around $5, which is a fantastic price. So this is what the wand looks like. Let me show you. And this was kind of one when I took it out, I was like, I feel like it's kind of like a standard wand, and like I didn't see if I just kind of looked at it like, I don't know if this is really gonna do much. But again, this is really nice. It gives me length and it gives me volume, and I really want both in my mascara because I really have like for lashes. Like, I mean, nothing's really working with them. So I need length and I need volume, and I think that this gives it to me. It also makes my lashes nice and like really black, which I think is great. The only thing that I don't love about this mascara is that it starts to flake after a very prolonged period of time. Like if I put this on in the morning at like 8, 9 o'clock, and if I still have it on at like 10 o'clock at night, it's starting to flake. It's not as bad as like the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara or the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. Those flake on me within like 2 hours of putting it on, but I notice if I'm wearing this for a very long time, it'll start to kind of flake onto my face. But you know, if I'm only going out for a couple of hours, I don't think it's necessary to put on false lashes, and I just want some mascara that will make my lashes look nice. That's when I've been reaching for this mascara. So for $5, I still think this one was pretty darn good for me, especially for someone who doesn't gravitate towards mascara a lot. Next up is, man, I feel like I really liked a lot of these products, because I was gonna say maybe this one is my favorite, maybe after the foundation, maybe after the concealer. I felt like I got a lot of good ones in here, but this one I'm very impressed with. This is from Revolution Beauty. It's the Vivid Baked Highlighter in Peach Lights. It's what I have on my face today, and I am incredibly impressed with this highlighter. It's one of their baked highlighters, and it runs for about $6. So you can see it's a really stunning highlight. It looks more pink in the pan to me than peach, and I don't know if I can really, I don't know. It's like a peachy pink on the cheeks, but it is like, it's almost like an iridescent glow when you put it on. You do not need a lot of product to get a beautiful glow. I use a fluffy brush typically when I'm putting this highlight on. Sometimes if highlights need a little bit more help, a little bit more oomph, I'll go with a really dense brush to apply it. But if a highlight really packs a punch, I do a fluffy brush just to try not to be like too intense with my highlight, and I like intense highlights, so that's saying a lot. I use a fluffy brush with this one because it is no joke, and it's about $6, and I'm very impressed. And again, I feel like I should do more of these videos with people, more of these collab style videos, because this isn't a highlight that I don't think I would have bought this on my own, just because it says baked highlighter, and I don't know if I own even one baked highlighter. Not because I don't think that I would like them, it's just something that I've never gravitated towards, like I haven't tried a lot of, so I just kind of skip over them when I see them. So I don't know if I ever would have picked this one up on my own. So thank you, Kim. I'm seriously impressed with this highlight. Again, for only $6, Revolution Beauty, Peach Lights. I would totally buy more of these as well. I'm super impressed. So next up, I didn't talk about the eyeshadow palette that I used. This is from e.l.f. It's the Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette. This one is in Summer Breeze. Okay, so this was another one where I really did want to try out this palette. I was hearing good things about it. I remember seeing it get released and I was like, ooh, that palette looks really beautiful. And I kind of was a little hesitant in that video to use it. I was a little bit nervous because I had just tried a similar palette like this from e.l.f. and it caused me a lot of eye irritation, like a lot of really bad eye irritation. So I was kind of worried going into this palette. I will say that I didn't have a reaction as strongly as I did with, it was called like the Nude Blush or Blush Nude palette from e.l.f. But I did have, it's almost like it made my eyelids really crusty the next day. I noticed that I was kind of like peeling like crusties off my eyes the entire day after I used it. And I did try this one another time as well, and I had the same thing. So luckily it wasn't as bad as the first time where my eyes were like extremely red, puffy, like the following day. There was no chance I was putting on any eye makeup, and even the next day, I think all I put on was mascara to film a video because my eyes were still so irritated. So something about the e.l.f. eyeshadow formula is irritating to my eyes, which is such a bummer because this is a beautiful palette. I loved the eye look that I created in that video. I really enjoyed the other eye look that I did when I was doing it off camera. Again, more testing to see if I was gonna have a reaction to it, but this is a really nice eyeshadow palette. It's $10. You get a nice mirror in here. I'm very impressed with the colors. They're all matte. I think that they're really beautiful. I don't know how often I'll reach for this palette again because something about the formulation of these shadows is irritating my eyes. So I'm super bummed about that because I really, really liked this palette. I liked the colors. I thought they performed so well, but I don't know. I know quite a few people actually in that video also said you have reactions to e.l.f. eyeshadows as well. So I'm super bummed about that, but this is a really nice palette. I would recommend it if you aren't gonna have any crazy things happen with your eyes, but dang it. And like the second time that I used it, I was like, okay, crusty eyelids isn't that terrible, but I was like, it's still doing something bad to my eyes. Like you shouldn't just keep using it. Like you have other palettes, girlfriend, get it together. The last item that I'm going to talk about though is the lipstick that I wore. This is again from Rimmel. It's in collaboration with Kate Moss. This is in shade 33. So it's kind of like a nice bubblegum pink. I did do a swatch here on my hand, so that's what it looks like, and I also of course did wear it in that video. I don't really love the lipstick. The shade I actually didn't mind. I think I would wear this more in like spring, summer, because it's kind of, more of this like kind of bubblegum pink. I didn't mind the shade, but it was a very sheer lipstick, and I prefer something that's a little bit more like opaque on the lips. So it kind of like when I applied it, I could still almost kind of see my lips through it. So unfortunately, this one I ended up not loving. I don't think I would repurchase more of these shades on my own, but really I think this is about the only thing other than e.l.f. like irritating my eyes. This is really the only thing from that video that I was like not super hyped about, but I think these are like $5 or $6. So again, they're really affordable, and I know they do have quite a large shade selection. They didn't at my CVS, but I've seen online they have quite a few colors in there. Again, I didn't mind this color, but it was just a little bit too sheer for me. If you don't mind that with your lipsticks, you go ahead and rock it. But for me personally, it didn't work out the best for me. But those are all of the items that I tried out in my collab video with Kim. Why don't we go ahead and move over to my First Impression Friday video. So in that First Impressions video, I was testing out a lot of new makeup releases, and one collection that I have here is the new Floral Realness collection with MAC and Patrick Starrr. I was really excited to get this in PR. I was super stoked. They sent me the Miso Fleek collection. So it includes a 4-pan eyeshadow palette, which looks like so. And obviously I did an eye look with this, featuring mostly the blue in there, the blue and the pink. And then you also have a blush duo in here, which I thought was really beautiful. It also does come with a mirror, so you have 2 different blushes in there. And then it does have 2 different lip products. You have a lipstick and then a lip gloss. So this is what the lipstick looks like, and I can go ahead and do a swatch of this one as well. So there is the lipstick. Now the lip gloss is the only thing that I haven't tried in this collection because it is like a sparkly pink gloss, if you can see through there, and it's just not something that I would wear. So instead of even swatching it, I would just rather be able to give it away to somebody so they could enjoy it. So I can't say for sure on the gloss. I actually do like MAC glosses. They're not my absolute favorite, but I'm also not a gloss person. But a pink sparkly gloss is typically not what I go for. Now, there is 2 different collections that Patrick Starrr did with MAC, and you do have to purchase them as collections. With the last time Patrick Starrr collabed with MAC, you could buy the items separately, but this time you would have to purchase all 4 items in either collection. So that's one of the downsides to it, I think, because maybe you only want the eyeshadows or you only want one lipstick, but you'd have to purchase it all. So it would just have to see, I would only recommend getting it if you do want at least 3 of the 4 items that are going to come inside, or you could go in with a friend. Maybe you want the eyeshadow palette, the friend wants a lipstick. I don't know, you could work it out that way. But that is something to make note of with the collections. Of course, everything that I'm talking about will be linked down below as usual. So the collections are $49.50, which I don't feel like is a terrible price. The eyeshadow quads in the last collaboration were $32. So you think you have what, $17? Wow, that's hard. $17. So then you would have the $17, and that would be for the blush palette with 2 blushes, a lipstick, and a lip gloss. So I mean, again, it's going to be up to you, but I think that's pretty on par for MAC. And especially with it being a collaboration, I could have even seen the collections being priced higher because, you know, usually when there's a collaboration, prices tend to go up. So I thought for MAC that was pretty on point for them, I guess. So going through each of the products. Now, the eyeshadow palette I do really like. I really enjoyed the last collaboration. I really enjoyed those eyeshadows. I like all the colors in here. The blue, I don't think I will get as much use out of the blue as I will the other shades in here, just because I don't go for like an intense blue shadow a ton. I will also have an Instagram tutorial going up with this palette using the 3 shades minus the blue. I will have a tutorial going up shortly with that. It was in one of the makeup look in my last Will I Buy It video. So if it's up already, I will have it linked down below so you can see it. I really like the colors in here though. I feel like these shadows are very pigmented. I feel like they blend well. I feel like they're true to color to what's in the pan. And I have a great time with these. I really do recommend these MAC shadows. I recommended the last collaboration with Patrick Starrr. The eyeshadow palettes I think are really, really good. So happy with that. The blush palette I do actually have on my cheeks today. I like to combine these 2 blushes in here. I really like the shades in this blush palette. Really, I'm very impressed with this. It has a little mirror in it, like I said. There's a little mirror in it. The packaging on everything is super cute as well. The floral realness, super cute on all of it. But these are very pigmented. You need a very light hand with these. Like I said, I like to mix them together. I just kind of tap my brush in each one instead of like swirling because I like the kind of duo-ness to it. But again, I think they're very pigmented and very beautiful. You don't need to work hard with the blushes. Very happy with this. The lipstick, honestly, was kind of a letdown to me. And I was super bummed about it. Again, I was wearing this one in my latest Will I Buy It video as well, and you would see it in the Instagram tutorial, but this is really, really dry. And if you have dry lips or cracked lips or chapped lips like I do right now, then it just like really accentuates that you have like dry flaky skin on your lips. And what's interesting to me is I had never really purchased MAC lipsticks because I would hear a lot of reviews of people saying that they're a very dry formula, but I think out of all of the MAC lipsticks that I've tried, and I've now tried a lot of them, I have never found that to be the case until this one. So I was like shocked when I was putting it on and I was like, wait a second, what's going on? It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Anastasia matte lipsticks, which are not my favorite, but those, I mean, those are like really, really dry. This was just like getting onto that level. It is a retro matte lipstick, so, you know, the matte lipsticks are definitely tougher to get on, but honestly, the MAC matte lipsticks are still some of my favorite lipstick formulas, so I was just shocked at how dry this was. So unfortunately, I don't know, maybe I got a bad one. I hate saying that, but I was just really surprised at how dry this was. So unfortunately, the lipstick didn't work out for me. I really enjoyed the color, but I did not like how it looked on my lips. The collection out of what I tried, the eyeshadow palette and the blush trio, which honestly, these are probably like the most expensive out of the collection. These 2 were really good. I just wish that lipstick wasn't a miss. So next up, I tried out a new concealer from Milk Makeup. This is called the Flex Concealer. In the video, I used these 2 different shades. I will say that light is more of my shade in case you're looking for a shade match. I tried Fair first, and that one was too light. Light is a good match for me. But I will say that I don't love this one. This is what the applicator looks like. Pretty standard as well. I mean, I like the packaging of these. I don't mind that at all. When I first put it on, it felt like it was going to be a really hydrating but still a solid coverage concealer. But once I started to blend it out, it's like it dries up and like it dries very quickly. It was kind of bizarre. So I knew that this was going to be a concealer that I wanted to do one eye first, put the product on, blend it out, even set it, then move on to the other eye. But it's like no matter how quickly I work with this, it still gets really dry on my under eyes. It just kind of accentuates any dryness that I have under there. I don't like setting this with a loose powder because then it's just a huge dry mess underneath there. I prefer to stick with like a pressed powder so it doesn't look quite as bad. But if you're dry or you have dryness on your under eyes, I don't think that you're gonna like this one. It was about a medium coverage for me, I would say. It kind of sheared out a little bit as you start to blend it out as well. But overall, the formula with this one just did not really vibe with my skin. It didn't really vibe with my concealer needs. It's $28, so that's pretty pricey for a concealer. And honestly, I like the $5 one from NYX more. Next up, I have some new items from Morphe here. So first up, I tried out these blush trios. So Morphe just released their blush trios. They are $12 each, and they have a lot of different options. The one that I used in the video was this one which is a Pop of Fuchsia. Now these are really nice packaging. You get 3 big shades in there. You get a nice mirror, and those are what the 3 shades look like. In each palette, you do get a mixture of like matte and shimmers, not like you do. I don't know why I said that. You get a mixture of matte and shimmers. And I had said, I put these in a Will I Buy It video. I said I was gonna pass over them because I've tried Morphe face palettes before, I've tried blush palettes before, contour palettes before, and I didn't really love them, wasn't very impressed with them, didn't have a lot of pigmentation to them. So I kind of went in just a little bit heavier handed than I normally would, and I looked like a clown for a hot second in that video. And you saw me trying to blend it out. I was blending it out on camera. No, these are good. I mean, Morphe has rebranded. They've, you know, changed up their packaging on a lot of different things. I'm sure they've changed up their formula on a lot of different things. And I am actually very impressed with these blush trios. This one is Pop of Blush. I also wore this one the other day, and I thought the blush in here was beautiful. It's kind of like a cool tone baby pink. And again, you have, this one is the shimmer over here. This one I also really, really like. I'll be reaching for this one a lot. One of my favorites at the moment, I'm really into peach right now for whatever reason. This is the Pop of Peach. Again, I wore this one in a recent video as well. Recent video, maybe it was just a day out, I don't remember. But I reached for this one. Oh, I think it was the day out. I wore it to my friend's baby shower. But also very long lasting because I got ready for that baby shower at 9 o'clock and I didn't come home until after 10, and everything on my face still looked really good, including my blush, which came from this palette. I used this middle shade right here, which is a beautiful peachy blush. I thought it was so gorgeous. So these are actually really good. They're very pigmented though. You need a light hand with them, but they apply well, they stay on well. I like kind of like the diversity in each of the palettes that you get, and for only $12, legit packaging, 3 very large blush shades, and a great mirror. I don't think you could go wrong with these. And then I also did try out the new Morphe highlighters in that video as well. So they also released these new highlighters. I believe these are finally on sale as well. So again, everything will be linked down below. I can't remember now for sure which one I used in that video. I want to say it was Extra maybe, Extra, which looks like this. So again, very similar packaging to the blush trios. You get a ton of highlight here. You get a nice mirror. These guys are $14 each. And I will say that I like them. You know, I used this one in the video and I liked it. I mean, you can see it right away. You don't need to build it up. You don't need to, you know, it shows up well and it's really beautiful. It is. But I wasn't like overly wowed with them. They're a little bit powdery, nothing like too bad. You know, kind of every highlight shows texture on my skin, and this one does. It's just a little bit powdery and just not quite like that. It just didn't get me super hyped like the Revolution Beauty did, or even like the blush trios from Morphe did. If you were trying to decide between should I get a blush trio or a highlight, I honestly would recommend the blush trio. You actually get a lot of shades for even a cheaper amount than you would one highlight, but you know, obviously it's a personal decision of what you need in your makeup collection and what you're gonna wear. They just weren't my favorite, but they were pretty good. So last up to review, I have the liquid lipsticks from the Casey Holmes and Palladio Beauty collab. I was really excited about these liquid lipsticks. I put them in a Will I Buy It video. I said I really wanted to get them. Casey Holmes is one of my favorite YouTubers, someone that I absolutely adore. Not only did I want to support the collaboration, it was with an affordable brand. These are $10 each for a liquid lipstick, and I love liquid lipsticks. So it was a collaboration that made sense for me to also purchase them because I do wear a ton of liquid lipsticks. So these are what the liquid lipsticks look like. So she has 3 different shades. I picked up all of them. Again, they are $10 each. You can find them at Sally Beauty stores or the Palladio Beauty website. And I noticed Palladio Beauty has free shipping over $30. So if you do get all 3, then you got free shipping. So that's what I did. So here are the swatches of them. So we have Georgia, which is kind of like a peachy pink, and then Rescue, which I wore in the first impressions video, which is a deep nude brown. And then we have Obsessed, which is a nice berry pink. I was wearing this one in my products I wish I would have tried sooner video, if you want to see it in action there. So these I'm pretty darn impressed with. I'll show you what the applicator looks like. I'm pretty darn impressed with these. They are very opaque on the lips and they are extremely, extremely long lasting. These are the liquid lipsticks where you have to really go in and kind of like scrub at your lips at the end of the night because they last. The first day that I was wearing it, which I was wearing Rescue, I wore this through my afternoon snack that I had after I was done filming, and then I also wore it through dinner. And now I can't remember what I had for dinner that night, and I'm sorry, but I remember, was it like a sandwich or a taco or something where I wasn't just like you know, putting a fork in my mouth, like I was like biting down on something, and it still looked phenomenal after I got done eating. So I was like, you know what, Casey Holmes she wasn't telling us no lies when she said that these are very long lasting. Sometimes it can be a little rough, like sometimes when I'm deciding when to put on a liquid lipstick, I've honestly passed over these because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take my makeup off in 3 hours. It's not worth me having to like scrub at my lips. So I kind of only reach for these when I know like I'm putting a lipstick on and I want it to stay on for hours. Otherwise, it's just kind of challenging to take off. So I will say that. But I mean, it's a pro and a con at the same time. It just depends on what you need for that day. But again, I really like the way that they look on the lips. They kind of dry on me. Like, they're not like a super drying liquid lipstick, which is good, especially because they're so long lasting, but they can kind of get dry after a couple hours and just kind of make my lips look not super great. Again, because I do have dry lips right now, it just kind of like accentuates that. It kind of makes them look a little bit crustier. So kind of what I've been doing when I have been wearing these for a really long time and it starts to get into that, I throw a lip gloss on top of it and it just kind of like revives it again. So I will say that, you know, hopefully that problem would go away once I get my lips in shape, which it's not snowing today. I'm filming a video and I'm not saying that it's snowing. That's super exciting over here. And kind of out of the ordinary. I do like all of the colors in here. I will say Georgia is labeled as like a peach, but I think it's more of like pinky peach. It definitely has some pink to it. So I'll say that. This one, again, Deep Nude. Rescue is probably my favorite and the one that I'll wear the most. Obsessed is really beautiful though. I feel like I will wear this a lot in the summer because it's that very bright kind of berry pink, but really beautiful. So I'm happy with my purchase though, especially for $10. I think these are really phenomenal. I'm very happy with them. A huge congrats to Casey Holmes because I think she did a phenomenal job with this. But after that, that's gonna do it for today's video. All right guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. My first impression follow-up on two of my recent first impression videos. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video or you found my reviews helpful in some way. Again, everything will be listed down below as well as both videos if you missed them and you'd want to see how any of these items did apply for the first time on camera. Those will both be down there. But other than that, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.